Today, we're taking a really insightful look at a topic that, well, many of us grapple with daily.
Mm-hmm.
The often, let's say, perplexing dynamics between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, our listener, who shared these fascinating sources and really wanted those deeper, more foundational truths, we've distilled a pretty remarkable perspective. It's from Allison Armstrong's book, Making Sense of Men.
That's right. A woman's guide to a lifetime of love, care, and attention from all men.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to cut through the noise, dismantle some common misconceptions and maybe offer you a clearer lens to understand these fundamental differences, hopefully leading to, well, more profound connections.
Definitely.
Get ready for some potentially deeply resonant aha moments, things that might just reframe everything you thought you knew.
Indeed. And Allison's work, it's not really about surface-level dating tips, is it?
No, not at all.
It's more an exploration into the core operating systems, masculine, feminine. Her insights really offer a path to genuine clarity, not just, in romance, but how we interact with all men, colleagues, friends, family.
Right.
We're kind of stepping beyond the usual narratives here, looking for truths that are, well, simple, but sometimes quite revolutionary.
That's exactly what struck me. Her approach. It doesn't start with some, grand theory. It starts with this really raw, relatable moment of frustration.
Ah, the frog farmer story.
Yes. Allison recounts this pivotal anecdote with her friend Lisa. Lisa's just completely exasperated, Another relationship has fizzled out. And she asks their teacher, Herb, this question. Why do men start out as these amazing princes, so attentive, romantic, totally engaged?
Mm-hmm.
And then inevitably, after a few weeks, maybe months, they just transform into, as Lisa put it, sports watching, pizza eating, beer belching couch slugs.
Slight chuckle. It's a familiar lament, isn't it?
Oh, painfully familiar for many, I think. That feeling of watching that initial magic just fade.
It really is a common pattern. And for Lisa, it was kind of the last straw after several similar experiences. Allison herself had been down that road, first blaming herself, thinking she was missing some kind of Princess Grace gene,
Right.
then swinging the other way, blaming her ex-husband entirely. But when the next relationship followed the exact same pattern, she had to face that bigger, maybe more uncomfortable question: how does this keep happening? Why do they seem to change so much?
And Herb's response to Lisa's, really heartfelt question was just, wow, so counterintuitive, almost shocking. He just looked at her and calmly said, oh, I see. You're a frog farmer.
Mm-hmm. Chuckles. Yeah. You can imagine Lisa's face like, what?
Exactly. But Herb clarified, just razor sharp. Some women turn frogs into princes. You, my dear, turn princes into frogs.
Whoa.
Yeah. And while Lisa might have been, stunned, Allison said it just resonated so deeply within her. It was this profound, almost gut-level realization. What if I have something to do with this? What if there's something in my approach, my actions, that's like inadvertently bringing out the worst in them?
And that moment, that was really the spark, the genesis of everything she went on to research and teach. For a lot of people, that kind of realization that maybe you're part of the problem you're complaining about, that could be crushing. Like, oh, great, more blame.
Sure.
But for Allison, it was the complete opposite. She found it exhilarating. Because if she was somehow turning princes into frogs, well, then she had the power to change it.
Agency.
Exactly. It wasn't about blame. It was about reclaiming agency. Understanding that by changing her own behavior, her own responses, she could maybe, just maybe, keep the prince around. That shift, from just blaming outwards to looking inwards with power, that's the absolute foundation of her work.
That completely reframes it, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
power in realizing you actually hold the key. So this realization, it pushed her into, 2 decades of research?
Yeah, a long journey.
Guided by 2 really central questions. The first one, what if men are responding to women?
Which sounds simple, but it was a huge departure for her. Before, she just assumed a man's behavior, kind, rude, whatever, was just fixed. That's just the kind of guy he is.
Right. Innate.
Yeah. She hadn't really considered that her own words, her actions, even just like the look on her face, could be directly causing a specific reaction from him.
So she started noticing things.
Yeah, she started observing patterns, like the same man acting totally differently with, say, the barmaid versus his sister versus a woman he saw as, a princess. It wasn't random, it was responsive.
Interesting.
Which led naturally to her second big question: what if there's a good reason for that?
Okay, now that's challenging.
It really is. It directly challenges that common assumption that when men do stuff we find weird or frustrating, they're just being, well, jerks or selfish or somehow less evolved.
Yeah, the easy explanation.
Right. She dared to assume there might be positive intent, or at least a logical reason from their perspective, behind behaviors that look negative from her perspective.
So it's like a total flip of how we normally process things. What Allison found, and what the book lays out so well, brilliantly, is really counterintuitive.
Totally.
The stuff we tend to take personally, get offended by, often we shouldn't.
Yeah.
And the stuff we just brush off like, oh, that's just men, we probably should be paying more attention.
Exactly. That gap in understanding, that sort of inverted common sense, is right at the heart of why relationships can get so tangled.
It forces us then to face this really fundamental insight she has. Men are not hairy women.
Chuckles. It sounds a bit provocative, maybe.
A little.
But it's actually a really deep observation about our unconscious biases. Allison realized that, as a woman, she wasn't truly seeing men. She was basically projecting her own female experience onto them, seeing them as, yeah, hairy, more muscular, slightly uncouth women.
So she expected them to be motivated like her, know what she knows, use words the same way.
Precisely. And crucially, this works both ways. Men, operating from their distinct system, often unconsciously see women as, like, softer, more lovely, naturally multitasking, maybe emotionally indulgent men.
Wow.
This deep-seated assumption that the other gender is just a variation of ourselves, not a whole different system, that accounts for like 99% of the confusion and frustration.
It really is like trying to run Mac software on a Windows PC and getting mad when it crashes.
That's a perfect analogy. It's a real wake-up call when you grasp that the person across from you has a fundamentally different internal setup. Take motivation, for example.
Okay.
Allison tells this story about coaching a male client. She asked him why he finally did something his mother had been nagging him about. From her female lens, she assumed, he caved to stop hurting his mom's feelings. That's often a female driver, right?
Sure. Avoiding conflict or disappointment.
Right. But when she suggested that, he was genuinely shocked, offended even. He said, point blank, I would never do anything for that reason, and no self-respecting man would.
Whoa. Okay. So if not that, then what was driving him?
His actual reasons. They revolved around concepts that honestly aren't usually top of mind for women daily. Duty, obligation, honor.
Duty, obligation, honor. Interesting.
Yeah. He talked about his duty as a son, fulfilling an obligation, how it was a matter of honor to do it, even if he didn't personally feel like it. For Allison, that was huge. It showed male motivations aren't just different. They can be really, well, noble things. As one guy put it, if men aren't motivated by these things, you don't trust them. It points to this deep internal code.
A code many women just aren't aware of or don't value in the same way. So it's less about avoiding upset feelings, more about adhering to these principles.
Exactly. Principles of self-governance. And this difference extends right into their cognitive reality, too, like how men are described as fundamentally single-focused.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means when they commit to a task, their whole brain kind of zooms in on that one thing. They gather the info, direct the energy, basically enter this mental tunnel to get it done.
Which explains why they get so annoyed when interrupted.
Totally. It's not just annoying. It's like you've pulled the plug on their whole system. They have to drop all the mental pieces they were holding for that one goal.
Yeah, I can picture it. He's deep in fixing something, totally zoned in. And a woman comes in, maybe meaning well, and says, oh, just leave that. Go fix the fence instead.
He just stares because his brain literally can't just switch like that without losing everything he was holding on to for the first task. It's a real mismatch.
And women, conversely, have what she calls diffuse awareness.
Right. Our attention is naturally pulled everywhere at once. We're processing kids playing, laundry piling up, dinner smells, the mental to-do list.
Everything's talking to us.
Exactly. Pick me up, fix me, put me away. That's why women often try to juggle, 10 things at once and feel overwhelmed, not necessarily frustrated like a man might, when we can't manage it all.
So, just like women might give bad advice to a single-focused man,
men often give advice from their reality to an overwhelmed woman, like just prioritize or just do one thing, which from her diffuse awareness sounds impossible. If she only did one thing, the other 9 would scream louder, making her feel even more behind.
it's this constant pattern, isn't it? Giving advice based on our operating system, assuming the other person is just like us, only slightly different.
That's the root of so much trouble. Understanding these deep, innate differences and not judging them, that's the absolute first step to connection.
It really is. Just recognizing you're dealing with different hardware, not just different software preferences, changes the whole game. Which
Yeah.
I guess leads us straight into attraction, right? Another area ripe for misunderstanding.
Oh, absolutely. Huge misunderstandings there.
Yeah, I mean, from day one, we're soaked in media telling us it's all about the bikini body, the perfect face, right? Get the attention and the affection, love, commitment that'll just follow.
The implicit promise.
Exactly. But so many women find that's just not true. You can get tons of attention and zero real affection. And you're left thinking, what did I do wrong?
And Allison's research cuts right through that. There are fundamentally two different kinds of attraction. Society mostly just talks about one.
You okay?
One type gets you attention, yeah, but often only one kind of attention. The other type is what actually compels affection, care, long-term stuff. Understanding that difference is, well, it's key.
Okay, let's break that down. The first type, the one we know, sexual attraction.
Right. And men, as we said, are profoundly visual. But not superficially. It's more like well-designed visual. Their brains are just wired to hoover up information through their eyes. It's efficient. It's how they assess the world.
So the 4 S's of sexual attraction. Let's go through them. Number 4.
Shiny hair. Seems minor, right? But it's everywhere and adds for a reason.
Why, though? What's the deal with shiny hair?
It's fascinating, actually. Men don't consciously know why. It goes back like a million years. Caveman times. Lifespans were short. They needed quick cues for a fertile mate. Shiny hair often meant enough body fat, good diet, basically, signs she could carry a baby. It's an ancient biological signal.
Wow. A million-year-old instinct still running the show. Not conscious preference, just wiring.
Pretty much. And the good news, you don't need all these things. Allison asked a panel of men, what percentage of these sexy traits does a woman need for you to want sex? They sheepishly said, like, 5%.
5%. 5%. So a little glint
Sure.
might do it. And that's only number 4.
Exactly. Which brings us to number 3, shapely body. No big surprise there.
Yeah, kind of figured.
But what is surprising to women is how broad men's definition of shapely actually is. Women often aim for this very specific, often impossible, like size 2 Barbie thing.
Right, the cultural ideal.
But men, much more expansive. Allison quotes this panel discussing women's bottoms, and the conclusion was hilarious and liberating. No matter the shape of your bottom, some guy is digging on it. They celebrated everything firm, jiggly, wide, flat, you name it.
That is actually incredibly freeing to hear. He fights that constant pressure to fit one narrow mold.
Totally. Allison calls the alternative dating ass backwards. Instead of twisting ourselves into knots diet, surgery, personality tweaks to be what we think they want,
Right.
why not connect with guys who already dig your natural shape? Imagine attracting someone who loves your bottom just as it is, no changes needed to keep his interest. Find resonance with who you are.
That sounds much less exhausting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got shiny hair, shapely body, but you said the top 2 have nothing to do with looks.
Nothing at all. Theoretically, bag over your head, body encased in tires. These next 2 still work, which shows how much energy we misplace chasing the physical stuff for sexual attraction.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Number 2.
Sensuality. But here's the key. It's not about being sensual for him. It's about being sensual for yourself.
How does that work?
It means really focusing on the pleasure your own senses are giving you. The taste of food, the sound of music, a beautiful view, a great smell, a texture. The challenge for women with our diffuse awareness is our attention is usually split. Sensuality demands undivided focus on one pleasure.
Okay, give me an example.
Allison has this great kind of playful one about women's thighs. Society tells us they shouldn't rub together, right?
Yeah, the thigh gap obsession.
Right. She says, lean into it. If they rub, maybe pay attention to them rubbing. She suggests trying it walking through a lobby. Deliberately focus on that feeling, maybe even exaggerate it slightly. Her advice. Notice what happens to the men nearby. You'll see why I recommend a lobby on the street. You'd cause an accident.
Okay, so just being deeply present in your own physical pleasure, for you, creates this attractive energy, regardless of how you look.
Exactly. It's potent. Which leads to, number 1, the most powerful cause of sexual attraction, sexual energy.
Sexual energy. Not about being promiscuous, though.
Not at all. It's that raw, vibrant energy a woman gives off when she wants to, when she feels alive, connected to her own power. Men consistently told Allison, what makes a woman sexy is if she thinks she's sexy.
So it's internal, available to anyone.
Absolutely. Any age, shape, status, but we often neglect nurturing it, like sleep. Crucial. You can't be truly exhausted and genuinely sexy simultaneously. It just doesn't work.
That makes sense. Femininity needs fuel.
It really does. Femininity, that powerful energy, needs real juice, life force. We can run on fumes in masculine goal mode, but not fully embody our feminine selves without energy. Another big piece is consciously climbing back into your body.
What do you mean by that?
So many women, because of criticism or pressure, kind of emotionally check out of their bodies. They find fault, feel disconnected. That severs the link to our physical sexual energy. Reclaiming your body movement, dance, self-care, just appreciating it helps you recover your own sexiness without changing a thing physically.
Okay, so nurture the energy, reclaim the body. Then what?
Then consciously direct it instead of just broadcasting it everywhere, which can attract the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah, been there.
Right? Allison teaches you can actually learn to modulate it, aim it like a laser beam towards the person you want to attract sexually. It's a skill, gives you control.
That sounds powerful, but there's a catch, isn't there, with sexual attraction?
Huge catch. This is the stark truth confirmed by hundreds of men in her research. Sexual attraction only makes a man want to have sex.
Only that.
Only that. That's its one job. It does not make him call back, fall in love, commit, plan a future. Its scope is incredibly narrow.
Wow. Okay, that's where we mess up big time then.
Colossally. We pour billions into shiny hair and perfect bodies to get men who, as Allison points out, already think about sex constantly anyway, to want sex. It's not just overkill. It leads to predictable mischief and heartache.
Because he's operating in
Take mode when driven purely by sexual attraction. And a woman, if she's also just in that mode, can fall into get mode, maybe ignoring her intuition about whether this guy actually cares about her well-being.
which leads to blaming him for only wanting sex, or blaming ourselves for not being enough to make him want more.
Exactly, it's a cycle. But Allison offers this amazing alternative, the Adam Sandler effect.
The Adam Sandler effect. Tell me more.
She noticed how Adam Sandler, not conventionally handsome, kind of grew on her watching The Wedding Singer. This idea of men growing on women, where that initial physical chemistry isn't the main thing. It allows deeper attraction to build over time, free from what she perfectly calls the intense stupidity that chemistry causes.
Intense stupidity the chemistry causes. Love that.
Yeah.
Because chemistry is just hormones, right?
Right.
That primal reaction.
Often, yeah. Our body screaming ideal mate, which puts us straight into get mode. We start changing ourselves, hiding our real opinions, trying to be his perfect woman.
Making us the exact opposite of charming and enchanting.
Precisely. So, to use the Adam Sandler effect, Allison says women need two things. First, drop the external judgment. Let go of what society or your inner cave woman says about his looks, job, whatever. Second, consciously focus on what does attract you about him and consciously ignore the rest. Not into bald guys. Fine, just choose not to focus on his head. Focus on his kindness, his humor, whatever does draw you in. It allows a more real, holistic attraction to develop.
It's like recalibrating your internal GPS away from just the surface stuff.
Exactly, towards a deeper appreciation, and that deeper appreciation. That leads us to what Allison calls the real goodies.
The real goodies. Okay, this is the second type of attraction.
This is it, the far more powerful one. She calls it being charmed and enchanted. When a man feels this, he describes it like being under a spell he loves. This isn't about just getting attention. This compellingly brings out genuine affection from men. It leads to that lifetime of love, care, and attention the book title promises.
So what happens when a man is charmed and enchanted? What does he do?
The compelled responses are huge. He naturally, effortlessly feels driven to spend time with you, take care of you, protect you, contribute to your life, and this is key, make you happy.
You don't have to ask or manipulate.
No. It's just this natural, joyful outflow for him. Feels good for him to give, feels good for you to receive. This state, being charmed and enchanted, that's the real starting point for everything wonderful. Friendship, passion, deep involvement, lasting love, devotion.
Wow. So how do we know if we are charming and enchanting?
Allison urges every woman to just pause and look around. Think about the men in your life, partners, exes, family, friends, colleagues. Can you think of even one man who, at some point, genuinely tried to spend time, take care, protect, contribute, or make you happy?
Okay. Yeah, probably.
If you can pinpoint even one instance that tells you something vital about yourself, you are charming and enchanting. It's not something you lack. It's inherent in you.
That's a really powerful thought. I am charming and enchanting.
She suggests really embracing that self-perception. Carry yourself like a woman who knows she has this quality. She tells a story about a conventionally beautiful woman whose relationships were always a mess until she truly believed she was charming and enchanting. Just shifting her inner state transformed how men responded to her. because they do respond to our inner state.
Okay, but men don't usually walk around saying, I'm charmed and enchanted by you.
Yeah, how do we know? How do we read the signs?
This is where we need a valuable lesson in
You
Menglish.
Menglish, love it.
Men express this enchanted state, this urge to give, in ways women often totally misread through our own filters. Classic example. You're shivering. He says, are you cold? Here, take my jacket.
And the typical female responses.
Oh, but won't you be cold?
Right. Nurturing, concerned.
Exactly. But men told Allison, why did they say that? Whether I'll be cold is completely beside the point. The point for him is he feels compelled to take care of you. Questioning his comfort is like, well, it subtly undermines his gesture. It treats him like a kid, not a capable man offering care. So the Menglish translation for us should be,
He's charmed and enchanted, how lovely. And just graciously accept the jacket.
got it. Okay, what's another Menglish misunderstanding?
Advice. When a man offers advice.
Oh, yeah. That often feels like an insult, right? Like he thinks I'm stupid.
That's the female interpretation. But for a charmed and enchanted man, giving advice is how he contributes. He's compelled to offer solutions, be helpful, use his competence for you. He actually admires women's intelligence, knows you see things differently. So instead of feeling diminished,
The thought should be, he's charmed and enchanted. This is him showing he cares and wants to help.
exactly, it's a contribution, not criticism.
Yeah.
Now, there's a critical danger zone phrase in Menglish too,
Uh-oh. What is it?
when he says, you don't look happy.
Okay. That sounds fairly innocent.
It's not. It's a serious warning. The Menglish translation is basically, this is torture for me. I feel like I'm failing to make you happy, and if I can't make you happy, I have to leave.
Whoa. That's serious.
That's serious. Allison is emphatic. Men leave women they cannot make happy. It's fundamental to their drive. If they feel they're failing at that core task, their system tells them to bail.
Okay, that's huge. Good to know. What else?
The I care about you conversation. Picture this. Dating a few months, woman finally asks, so how do you feel about me? She wants an emotional status update, right? A sign of where things are going.
Sure. That's how women often track relationship progress.
But for a man, accessing deep feelings takes effort. They're not always right there on the surface. When he does find a big feeling and decides to share it, he's making himself really vulnerable.
Okay.
And often he'll do this little shoulder shrug thing. Allison calls it the man's international sign of commitment as he says the words.
What words? I care about you.
I care about you. Okay. From his perspective, he just laid his cards on the table, deep emotional involvement, opened the door to the future, made a huge declaration.
But from a woman's perspective.
I care about you can sound, well, weak, like something you'd say about your cat. Even worse, it's the phrase women often use to break up with someone. I care about you, but...
Oh my God. The mismatch.
It's colossal. That little word but completely changes the meaning for women. For him, I care about you means you're the center of my world. Everything I do is for you. Potentially even, I would die for you.
It is. Wow. Incredibly powerful and so tragic how often that gets missed or misinterpreted. It's deeper than just love sometimes.
It really can be. And one more super practical Menglish point. If he says, I'm busy Saturday night, guess what he means?
Oh, that he's busy Saturday night.
Bingo, that's it, period. No hidden agenda, no secret code for, I don't like you anymore. He's just busy.
Whereas a woman might say I'm busy to mean a million other things. I'm hurt, ask me again, create some mystery.
Exactly. We filter his directness through our own women's dictionary, which is full of subtext he just doesn't use that way.
The tragedy in all this, then, is not knowing how to actually receive what men are offering, their care.
That's a huge part of it. It often comes from our own stuff, right? Misconceptions about deserving, about having to be totally self-sufficient, or even that old fear of payback. If he buys dinner, he expects sex.
Right, the transactional fear.
Yeah. And we're often taught to value those, quote, masculine characteristics in ourselves being productive and control independent, which ironically makes it really hard to just be open and responsive to how men show they care, which might be different. It could all work so much better if we just, let men be men and receive them that way.
Okay, so if that's how men respond when they're charmed and enchanted, what actually causes it? What are the qualities that create this powerful attraction? What are the goods that get the goodies?
Allison's research, talking to thousands of men, was surprisingly consistent on this. They might start by saying, oh, it's different for everyone, but they always came back to the same number one quality. Always.
Which is?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence, really. That's number one.
Unquestionably. Self-confidence in a woman is magnetic to men. It bowls them over, draws them right in.
Why, though? What's the mechanism there?
It's insightful. A self-confident woman makes a man feel his contributions genuinely matter. See, if she's already confident, she doesn't seem to need rescuing, right? She's operating from strength. That lets him relax. He doesn't feel pressured to be her everything, her sole provider. He can just be himself and offer his care because he wants to, not because he feels obligated to fix her.
That makes sense. But self-confidence? That can be really hard for women, can't it? Because of that inner critic.
Exactly. What Allison calls the ideal woman voice, that relentless internal commentary. You're too this, not enough that, you should be. It's supposed to help us be perfect, but it just eats away at real self-confidence.
Yeah, the irony is.
Men often adore women for their imperfections, not despite them. Those quirks are what make you unique, interesting, real. As one guy on a panel said about a woman trying to be perfect for him, she shouldn't do it for me or for any man. They want the real you.
Okay, so how do we boost this elusive self-confidence?
Allison makes a helpful distinction between deep self-confidence, knowing and accepting your true self, and everyday confidence. Confidence can come from simpler things. Wearing shoes that make you feel amazing, that works. Feeling vibrant from good health, that gives you confidence too. It's about using external motivators, not fighting them. Find what gives you that boost and nurture it. It's a gift to yourself and everyone else.
I like that. Practical confidence boosts. Okay, number 2, irresistible quality.
Authenticity. Being real. Men see it as one of the highest compliments. They find it courageous.
Because it connects to self-confidence.
Directly. The more you genuinely like yourself, the easier it is to just be yourself. No masks, no filters. And men, Allison says, have a built-in BS meter. They spot fakeness, manipulation, strategy a mile off. That's why the guys we often try hardest to impress, twisting ourselves into pretzels. They rarely end up truly liking us because they haven't even met the real us.
So authenticity even means being real about not feeling confident sometimes.
Absolutely. Allison shares this great little story. She asked her husband, Greg, about some tiny dimple in her butt that her inner critic was obsessed with. Greg, total single-focused guy, was like, what dimple? He hadn't even noticed. Her willingness to be authentic about her insecurity instead of hiding it was actually charming. It created connection. Being real, even about flaws or struggles, is attractive.
That's so relatable. Our
Yeah.
inner critics see things no one else does.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Passion. And again, not passion for him. Passion for something in your life, your work, a hobby, a cause, baking cookies, whatever lights you up.
And this affects him how?
When a woman talks about her passion with real enthusiasm, scientists have actually measured an increase in well-being hormones in men listening. Her passionate energy literally makes him feel good. It's compelling.
Oh, as opposed to...
Complaining. Remember how women's voices hit the music part of men's brains? Imagine what constant complaining sounds like there. Draining. Makes them want to pull away. But passion, that's energizing, life-affirming music to their ears. And again, comes back to confidence and authenticity. Easier to express passion when you feel good about yourself.
Okay, but confidence, authenticity, passion. What was the 4th one? You said this was critical.
Absolutely critical, the make or break quality. Receptivity. This is the cornerstone. You can have all the CAT in the world, but without the R. The whole thing falls apart. Men will leave.
Receptivity. Okay, unpack that. What does it mean?
2 main kinds. First, being genuinely open and responsive to all the ways men show they care. Their gifts, trying to take care, protect, contribute, make you happy. Remember, a charmed and enchanted man is in give mode. He's thinking, what can I do for her? He puts in effort, time, resources. He needs the positive energy back, your genuine appreciation, your visible pleasure when his gift lands well. It's the feedback loop. It fuels him to give more.
But that's hard for modern women sometimes.
Incredibly hard. We're often trained to value being masculine, productive, in control, self-sufficient. So when a man offers help, our default is often, no thanks, I got it, or I don't need that, or even I don't deserve it. Plus, that subconscious payback fear, this lack of receptivity, it's a total block for men. It frustrates them, makes them withdraw. They have to disengage eventually.
Okay, so receiving their gifts, what's the second kind of receptivity?
This one might be even harder for many women today. Being receptive to who men are, simply accepting their masculine nature.
Without trying to fix them.
Exactly. We're often taught, implicitly or explicitly, not to fully accept men as they are. Like, it's selling out or putting up with them. We're told to discipline them, train them, fearing they'll get worse if we don't.
Right.
But Allison's insight is profound. The more you truly learn about men, understand their world, why they do what they do from their system, the more naturally receptive you become. Because who men are, seen through that informed lens. Allison says it's such great news, this natural informed receptivity. It turns women into man magnets.
Man magnets. I like that. So tying this back to men being visual, they can actually see these qualities.
Yes, this is the amazing part. They're not just superficial visual, they're super perceptive. They can visually pick up on confidence, authenticity, passion, and receptivity in your subtle cues.
Like how?
Confidence shows in your posture, how you hold yourself. Authenticity in your comfortable, direct gaze. Passion lights up your eyes, animates you. Receptivity shows in soft eyes, a relaxed mouth and jaw, and overall open demeanor. Allison's husband, Greg, described his own love at first sight moment as exactly that, seeing those deeper qualities visually. You can literally charm and enchant a man while you're sleeping.
That's incredible. So knowing all this brings us to a choice point, right? The down the toilet or up the spiral.
Exactly. This framework explains so much about why relationships go south or how they can thrive. Cultivating CAPR, confidence, authenticity, passion, receptivity has lifelong effects. As long as you maintain those, men are naturally compelled to give you the love, care, attention you want.
It's like wood and fire, she says.
Perfect analogy. You provide the CAPR, the wood. Men naturally provide the affection, the fire. But what happens if you stop adding wood?
The fire goes out. We stop focusing on confidence, hide our authenticity, dim our passion, shut down receptivity.
And men respond instantly. They stop being charmed and enchanted.
So how does that downward spiral usually start?
Often subtly. New relationship, lots of excitement. He's amazing. Then he does something. Maybe he's late, doesn't call, looks at someone else, or maybe you just weren't receptive to something he offered.
And that something, which might be nothing from his view,
Triggers the female internal monologue. Well, I would never do that to someone I cared about.
and then we ask why.
And crucially, we answer why from our female brain. He must not care or respect me enough because we wouldn't do that if we cared. Then the ideal woman voice jumps in.
You're too needy. You're not pretty enough. You should be cooler.
Exactly, and boom, self-confidence plummets. In response to that inner critic and what we perceive as his slight, we start changing, becoming less confident, less real, hiding our passions, closing off receptivity.
And he responds to our change.
By becoming less charmed and enchanted, less compelled to give, and down the spiral goes. That magnificent woman he fell for turns into, as Allison puts it rather starkly, a sniveling, whiny, why don't you call me as often nag.
Ouch. So that's the toilet.
Look, yeah.
And it's basically flush because we expect men to be like women.
Pretty much. It's not his action that kills our confidence directly. It's our interpretation of his action, filtered through our female lens. Men watch us change dramatically and wonder, why do women change? Because we get caught up, take things personally, our CAPR tanks, we stop being charming and enchanting, and they respond accordingly.
But the good news, there's an alternative, the upward spiral.
The profound good news, yes. This is the conscious path to, potentially, a lifetime of ecstatic moments with men. It starts by consciously noticing who is charmed and enchanted by you, who naturally tries to give to you.
Okay, identify them. Then what?
Then set them up to succeed. Remember, a charmed and enchanted man is in give mode. He needs clear info. Tell him what you need, what makes you happy. In clear Menglish, no hints, no subtext.
Okay, clear communication. And then?
The crucial, often missed step. Relax. Practice gracious receiving. Show genuine appreciation. Your visible pleasure, your gratitude, that's his fuel. It makes him want to do more.
So given the info he needs, receive his efforts gratefully.
And he keeps going. He needs more info to keep succeeding. You provide it, you receive graciously, and the spiral goes up and up, a virtuous cycle. That's the real happily ever after, Allison argues. And the best part, it's in your hands.
That feels incredibly empowering. Are there any final caveats or warnings?
Yes, Allison adds a crucial note of wisdom. Self-responsibility first. Always look at your part. Are you accidentally emasculating him? What are your CAPR levels like? Are you using Menglish? Are you appreciating?
Teach yourself first.
Absolutely. However, also acknowledge that some men, sadly, might be too wounded by past experiences to be charmed and enchanted anymore. If you find yourself constantly feeling diminished or frustrated with someone, despite your best efforts, it's wise to choose to step away. You can't fix what's not yours to fix.
That's important wisdom too. So for you listening, what does this all boil down to? We've explored these two types of attraction, the power of Menglish and cultivating your own confidence, authenticity, passion, and receptivity. It really feels like a map out of confusion and blame towards understanding and power.
That shift, from expecting men to be hairy women to truly seeing and appreciating their different operating system, it changes everything. It offers a way to find real peace, adoration, maybe even ecstasy in relationships by honoring the differences instead of fighting them.
Exactly. So here's a final thought for you to chew on as you integrate all this. Considering the huge power of genuine receptivity, how it fuels that upward spiral, what one subtle shift could you make in your daily interactions, maybe starting today, to spark your own upward spiral? Not just with men, but maybe even in how you receive and value yourself. Something to think about.
A powerful question.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.